Proficiency Level, Lesson 13. Today we're going to be talking about Western food. But before we start talking about Western food, let's do the warm-up. So everybody repeat after me. Violet, you're turning violet. Good. One more time. Violet, you're turning violet. Great. Okay, well, let's talk about what this means. Can anybody help me out here? Violet, first of all, two meanings for violet, okay? It's a color. It's kind of a purple color, okay? Or it could also be a small type of flower, a violet, okay? So, you're turning violet. Well, one thing I'd like to point out, we should spell this word differently, not Y-O-U-R. This should be Y-O-U''R-E, because you are turning something, turning into something, changing. Okay, this is a good place to point out, you can turn colors. I could say, you're turning blue. Maybe if you're really cold, you're turning blue. Your face is turning blue. Maybe if you're embarrassed, you're turning red. Your face will turn red. Now, if you're turning violet, if you're turning purple, what could this mean? Well, maybe you're choking. You can't breathe. After a while, your face will turn red, and then it'll turn very dark red, and then maybe purple. So you could be turning violet. Anyway, let's do the sentence one more time. Violet, you're turning violet. All right, very good. Let's move on. All right, class, let's have a short quiz on the very important words we've just learned here. First of all, what does the word violet mean? Give me two meanings for this. We've got to make it hard because we only have two questions. Give me two meanings for the word violet. That's right, violet can be a color, like a deep purple, or it can be a small flower. Very good. Next question. If I say you're turning something, if I say you're turning blue, what does this mean? You're turning. Alright, let's move on to the interesting idioms here. So, we're talking about Western food today. Let's talk about some different kinds of Western food. Alright? So, the first sentence, repeat after me. How would you like your steak done? Okay? Or you can say, how would you like your hamburger done? Now, you can have meat done in three different ways. You can have rare, you can have medium, or you can have well done. Now let's talk about the difference between these three ways, okay? So if you have a steak is just a piece of meat, right? You can cook this in three different ways, three different levels of cooking. And it just depends on how long you cook it, how much time you cook it. The first way would be rare. Rare meat would be very red on the inside, bloody on the inside. Just the outside is a little gray or a little black color. The inside is almost not cooked, okay? Or very little cooked. I mean, almost bloody on the inside. The second level would be medium. Medium is a little pink on the inside, but not cooked all the way through. Just a little pink color on the inside. The outside, maybe black or gray. And finally, we have well done, which is the highest level of cooking. This is cooked all the way through. The inside is gray color. There's no blood in there. That's well done. And you can also have some levels in between these levels, like you combine them. You could have medium rare. That's between medium and rare. So, between medium and rare. Or you can have medium well. A little more than medium, a little less than well done. Medium well done. Now this applies to steak and it also applies to hamburger. If you go to a fancier restaurant and order a hamburger, although I don't know why you'd go to a fancy restaurant and order a hamburger, but if you did and they serve hamburgers, if they cook hamburgers, you could order it in any of these three ways too. You could have rare, medium, or well done. Just how long you cook the hamburger or the steak. Alright? So let's read the sentence one more time. How would you like your steak done? Okay? Or how would you like your hamburger done? Now done just means cooked, right? How would you like it cooked? Alright, let's look at the next one. I love munching on. Okay, now you can put anything you want here. Munching just means snacking on something, eating it, maybe watching TV and eating it. So you could put maybe potato chips in there. I love munching on potato chips. Okay? So let's read that one more time. I love munching on, and whatever you like to eat, okay? You could munch on fruit even. You could munch on grapes, something like that. Okay, let's look at the next one. I usually have cereal for breakfast. Good, one more time. I usually have cereal for breakfast. All right, now this is a little tough to explain, but cereal is what most Western people, most North American people at least, eat for breakfast. You start out with a bowl, okay? You fill the bowl with a dry kind of flake made out of corn, made out of wheat, maybe made out of rice. And on top of that, you pour some cold milk, and then you eat it with a spoon. I know it sounds kind of strange. It probably doesn't sound very good, but it is good, trust me. That's what I eat for breakfast. Anyway, that's cereal, okay? So let's say that one more time. I usually have cereal for breakfast. Okay, very good. Let's move on to the next one. I like a meatloaf for dinner. Okay, one more time. I like a meatloaf for dinner. All right, so what do you think of when you hear the word loaf? Usually you think of bread, right? A loaf of bread. A loaf of bread, like a whole loaf of bread, the whole thing, a loaf of bread. Now, a meatloaf, it almost looks like a loaf of bread. You cook meatloaf in almost the same kind of pan that you cook bread in. Like a bread pan is what you cook meatloaf in. And what meatloaf is just meat mixed with some bread crumbs and some spices and put into almost the form of bread and baked for a long time, maybe a little tomato sauce on top, and it comes out and you pour the loaf on. It just looks like a big loaf of meat, and you cut off a piece. That doesn't sound very good either, but it is. Pretty tasty. Anyway, that's meatloaf. So let's read that one more time. I'd like a meatloaf for dinner. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. We're having nachos for an appetizer. Okay? One more time. We're having nachos for an appetizer. Okay, good. So, what are nachos? What are nachos? Nacho, what we're referring to here is the cheese, okay? It's like a soft kind of cheese, almost like a liquid. Now, nachos are the chips. These are actually corn chips. Think of potato chips, but made out of corn. And you can dip these into this cheese, spicy kind of orange kind of cheese, and then eat them. That's nachos, okay? So let's read that one more time. We're having nachos for an appetizer. Right, and what's an appetizer? Remember, an appetizer, like the first course. Like just something that you can eat and just wait for the rest of the food to come. That's an appetizer. All right, let's look at the last one. Would you like some cheesecake for dessert? Okay, one more time. Would you like some cheesecake for dessert? Okay, what's cheesecake? That sounds funny, doesn't it? Cheesecake. But what this is actually, it's more like a pie than a cake, but it's made out of cream cheese, a type of cheese called cream cheese. It's a dessert. It's sweet. Very good, actually, but that's cheesecake, okay? And dessert, of course, the last course. The sweet thing you eat, like cake, pie, ice cream, something like that. So, let's read this one more time. Would you like some cheesecake for dessert? Okay, very good. Let's go on to the next part. All right, now that we did the interesting idioms, let's have a short quiz on the words that we've learned. First question, what is a steak? That's right, a steak is just a big piece of meat. Very good. Next question. If I tell you to cook the steak rare, what does that mean? I'd like it rare. That's right. Rare is the lowest level of cooking, right? The inside is almost bloody. Very good. Next question. If I say I like munching on potato chips, what does the word munching mean? What do I mean by munching? That's right, it just means eating something like a snack, one by one, munching on something. Very good. Next question. What is a meatloaf? What do I mean by meatloaf? Very good. Meatloaf, just a big piece of meat cooked in the oven. Very good.
Lunchtime, everyone. It's still pouring outside. Let's stay inside. How about some fast food?
Sounds good. I prefer having a burger.
Okay.
I know a place that serves great fish and chips.
I think I'll have a couple slices of vegetarian pizza. Let's go!
3 hot dogs, French fries, and a small bowl of salad.
How do you want your hot dogs?
Make that with everything.
I'd like 2 cheeseburgers with everything, please.
I could eat them all the time. Eating salad's good for your health.
Give me number 4, please. And I like a side of ordinary rice.
2 slices of veggie pizza, please, and a glass of vegetable juice.
All right, now let's take a look at the 10 sentences. So we're talking about Western food today. Let's look at these sentences dealing with different kinds of Western food. All right, sentence number 1. Repeat after me. How do you want your hot dogs? Okay, one more time. How do you want your hot dogs? All right, what are hot dogs? Hot dog is a type of sausage, right? Long, thin sausage, kind of salty taste, right? It goes inside a bun, a long piece of bread. Okay, that's a hot dog. Now, if you ask how do you want your hot dogs done, we're usually not talking about how long you want them cooked. We're talking about what you want to put on the hot dog. Do you want some ketchup on your hot dog? Do you want mustard on your hot dog? Do you want some sliced onions on your hot dog? Just different condiments, different things you can put on the hot dog to flavor it, okay? So like ketchup, mustard, onions. So that's what we're talking about when we ask you how do you want your hot dog done. All right, so let's do the sentence one more time. How do you want your hot dogs? Okay, good. Sentence number 2. Let's go have some burgers and fries. Okay, one more time. Let's go have some burgers and fries. All right, so first of all, burgers, what are we talking about? Just short for hamburgers, right? Hamburger. And fries are what? Fries are French fries, okay? Fried potato. Now, in America and in England, it's a little difference between fries, okay? French fries and chips, all right? In England, chips are what we know as French fries. In America, we call it French fries. In America, chips are like very thin potatoes, round cut potatoes, salted and fried, fried deeply. We usually eat them cold, okay? That's what we call chips. French fries are the long, thin pieces of potato that are cooked in oil, usually served hot. That's French fries, okay? So anyway, let's do this one more time. Let's go have some burgers and fries. Okay, good. Next sentence, number 3. I know a place that serves great fish and chips. Okay, one more time. I know a place that serves great fish and chips. All right, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. In England, very popular, okay, fish and chips. Fried fish, breaded fried fish, and chips, which are what we know French fries as in the United States, chips, okay? Same thing as French fries. So fish and chips, very popular in England. So let's do that one more time. I know a place that serves great fish and chips. All right, let's look at the next sentence. Number 4. I love mashed potatoes, but I don't like any other kind, such as boiled, baked, scalloped, or fried potatoes. Okay, let's read that one more time. I love mashed potatoes, but I don't like any other kind, such as boiled, baked, scalloped, or fried potatoes. All right, first of all, let's talk about this. This is many different ways you can prepare or cook potatoes. Okay, so the first way, mashed potatoes. Now, I believe you can buy these here in China if you go to KFC. Mashed potatoes are like a tomato paste, like a potato paste, a potato mush. First of all, you boil the potato, you take the skin off it, and then you mush it up into a paste. I think you add a little milk into it and stir it all around, and you have mashed potatoes. Okay? So it looks kind of like ice cream, actually, when you're eating it, but it's potato, okay? Now, the second kind, boiled potato. If you boil a potato, you simply put a potato in boiling water and boil it. You can eat it boiled. You boil it until it gets soft, and then you can eat it. The next one, baked potato. Now, this is probably the simplest way to make a potato. You take a potato, you don't skin it, you leave the skin on, but you clean it very well. You wash the skin, take all the dirt off, and then you simply put it in the oven and bake it. You leave it in there until it's done all the way through. And then you can take it out, you cut it open, you can put some butter on there, you can put some sour cream or something like that and eat it. That's a baked potato, okay? The next way, scalloped potato. A scalloped potato is cut very thin. You cut it in thin slices, round slices, and it's baked in the oven with some sort of cream sauce or possibly a cheese sauce. That's a scalloped potato. And finally, fried potatoes. This could be just like French fries, French fried potatoes, fried in oil, okay? Fried potato. So let's do this one more time. I love mashed potatoes, but I don't like any other kind, such as boiled, baked, scalloped, or fried potatoes. All right, good. Let's move on to the next one. I'd like a side order of onion rings, please. Okay, one more time. I'd like a side order of onion rings, please. All right, two things we have to talk about here. First of all, a side order. If you get a side order, it's just something you want extra. You order a hamburger, okay? The hamburger doesn't come with anything. You order a side order, something to go on the side of your plate. Now it's just like another dish, maybe a smaller dish. You can get a side order of French fries. You can get a side order of onion rings, maybe a side order of chicken wings, something like that. Anyway, a side order. So, onion rings. Onion rings are what? Okay, you know what an onion is, right? So you slice an onion up into pieces like this, circular pieces. Now you put some breading on that and you deep fry them, just like French fries. You fry these onion rings. Really good. Actually, one of my favorites. Now, you have something that's similar to this in China, and I've made the mistake before when I was eating here once. I saw somebody order a plate of these, and when I bit into one, lo and behold, it's a squid. You have squid rings here in China, deep-fried squid rings. So you have to be careful. It looks about the same, and I made the mistake once myself of eating some squid rings when I thought they were onion rings. But almost the same appearance, but inside is an onion. All right, so let's do that one more time. I'd like a side order of onion rings, please. Okay, remember a side order, just an extra little something, another dish, a side order. Okay, let's look at number 6. My favorite food's Tony Roma's ribs. All right, one more time. My favorite food's Tony Roma's ribs. All right, so two things we have to talk about. Who's Tony Roma? This is just the name of a chain restaurant in the United States. A chain restaurant is something, well, think about McDonald's. McDonald's has one restaurant here, and then another town has another restaurant and another restaurant. That's a chain restaurant. They all share the same name, but they're in many different locations. So this is just a famous place where you can order a steak or you can order ribs. Now, ribs are what? Like pork ribs are what we're talking about. Paigu, I think, is what it's called in Chinese. But in America, we do ribs a little differently. First, they're boiled, okay? You boil the rib to get rid of a lot of the fat on it. And also, the ribs are connected. It's not piece by piece. It's just like that. If you're going to cut my ribs out, you cut like that, okay? It's a rack of ribs are what they're called. 1, 2, 3, 4, a few bones, and it's all connected together. First of all, you boil that to take the fat off. Second, you barbecue it or you grill it. You cook it over a flame. And after that, you cover it in what's called barbecue sauce. Just a type of sauce, kind of like tomato sauce. It's tomato sauce, but a little spicier. That's barbecue sauce. So we call this barbecued ribs because we barbecue it, we cook it over a flame, and also it has barbecue sauce on it. Okay? So that's ribs. So let's read that sentence one more time. My favorite food's Tony Roma's ribs. All right, good. And you can use this sentence in a number of ways, too. You can use it to describe any food that's your favorite. My favorite food is hamburgers. My favorite food is whatever you want to say, okay? So let's look at the next one. Number 7. Eating salad is good for your health. Good. One more time. Eating salad is good for your health. Right. Now, what's a salad? How do you make a salad? A salad is mostly made of lettuce, okay? You put some lettuce in a bowl, you can put some tomatoes in there, you can put some sliced carrots, you can put some cucumber, and then finally you put something on the top that's called salad dressing. Just like the sauce that goes on top of that, and usually eat it with a fork. That's a salad, okay? Very healthy because it's mostly just vegetables, and the important thing is the vegetables are uncooked. They're not cooked. The lettuce is uncooked, just fresh, raw, which means uncooked lettuce and carrots and tomato and some other vegetables inside that. That's called a salad, okay? So, of course, salads are good for your health. Something that's good for your health is a healthy food, right? Something that doesn't make you sick, okay? So let's read that one more time. Eating salad is good for your health. All right, good. Let's move on to the next one. Number 8. I'd like 2 cheeseburgers with everything, please. Okay? One more time. I'd like 2 cheeseburgers with everything, please. All right, so 2 things. First of all, what's a cheeseburger? Just a hamburger with a slice of cheese on it, right? But if you say, I'd like a cheeseburger with everything means with all the kind of toppings you can put on a hamburger. What can you put on a hamburger? You can put a slice of lettuce. You can put some onion, sliced onion. You can put tomato. You can put pickle on a hamburger. So if you want everything, that means put everything on it. Cheese, you want lettuce, you want onion, you want pickle, you want tomato, you want ketchup, and you want mustard. You want everything. Another way to say this is I want the works. Another way to say that, okay? I want every condiment you can put on top of this hamburger. The works, okay? So let's say this one more time. I'd like 2 cheeseburgers with everything, please. All right, good. Let's go on to the next one. Number 9. T-bone steak is a very popular cut of beef. Okay? One more time. T-bone steak is a very popular cut of beef. Now, what's a T-bone steak? Well, it's a type of steak, a piece of meat, but there's a bone in this type of meat, okay? There's a piece of bone in this type of meat, and the piece of bone is in the shape of a T. That's a T-bone steak, all right? And it's a cut of beef. Every time, there's many different kinds of steak, okay? And they're all called different cuts because you cut it a different way from the body of the cow, of course. So T-bone is a special way to cut the steak. So let's do this one more time. T-bone steak is a very popular cut of beef. All right, good. Let's move on to the last one. Number 10. I think I'll have a couple of slices of vegetarian pizza. Okay? One more time. I think I'll have a couple of slices of vegetarian pizza. All right, 3 things we have to talk about here. First of all, pizza. What is pizza? It's like a pie made out of, you have the crust, which is like a type of bread, very thin. You have tomato sauce, you have cheese, you have some type of meat. Okay, that's a pizza. A slice is how we eat pie or how we eat a pizza. You cut out a piece like this, like a triangle, okay? That's a slice. One piece of pizza is a slice of pizza. Now, if you want vegetarian pizza, it simply means no meat. A vegetarian doesn't eat meat. So you can eat a pizza with every ingredient but no meat. You can have the tomato sauce, you can have the cheese, but maybe you have some other vegetables on there too. That's vegetarian, okay? Vegetarian. So let's read the sentence one more time. I think I'll have a couple slices of vegetarian pizza. All right, good. Let's move on to the next part. All right, now that we've done the 10 sentences, let's have a short quiz about the words that we've learned in the 10 sentences. First question, what is a hot dog? Tell me what a hot dog is. That's right, a hot dog is a sausage, usually eaten in a bun. Very good. Next question, what are fries? What am I talking about when I say I want to eat some fries? That's right, this is a short way to say French fries. French fried potatoes, right? Fried potatoes. Next question, what are fish and chips? What do I mean when I'm saying fish and chips? That's right, fish and chips is deep fried fish and also French fried potatoes, fish and chips. Usually just eaten in England, right? Next question, what are onion rings? What am I talking about when I say onion rings? That's right, onion rings are deep fried slices of onion. Very good. Next question, what are ribs? If I say I want to eat some ribs, what am I talking about? That's right. This is short for pork ribs. I want to eat pork ribs. Very good. Next question. What is a salad? What am I talking about when I say I want to eat a salad? That's right. A salad is uncooked raw vegetables like lettuce, like tomato, in a bowl. Very good. Next question. What is a cheeseburger? Tell me what a cheeseburger is. That's right. A cheeseburger is simply a hamburger with a slice of cheese on top. That's a cheeseburger. Very good. Last question. What do I mean if I say I want a vegetarian pizza? What does vegetarian mean? That's right. It simply means no meat. Anything without meat could be described as vegetarian. Very good. All right, now it's time for the joke. So I'm going to read you a very funny joke. First of all, Alan left the snow-filled streets of Chicago for a vacation in Florida. His wife was on a business trip and was planning to meet him there the next day. When he reached his hotel, he decided to send his wife a quick email. Unfortunately, when typing her email address, he missed one letter, and his note was directed instead to an old woman whose husband had passed away only the day before. When the sad widow checked her email, she took one look at the monitor, let out a piercing scream, and fell to the floor in a dead faint. At the sound, her family rushed into the room and saw this note on the screen. Dearest wife, just checked in. Everything prepared for your arrival tomorrow. P.S. Sure is hot down here. Okay, so first of all, some things we have to describe here, okay? Now, the guy wants to write an email, right? Electronic mail. You know what that is. But he typed the address wrong. He wanted to send it to his wife, but he missed one letter. So it went instead to an old woman. The old woman was a widow, a recent widow. A widow means her husband just died, okay? So her husband died the day before. But she checked her email and it looked like she got a letter from her husband. So when she saw the monitor, she let out a piercing scream. A piercing scream. Pierce means to poke a hole in something. So a piercing scream would mean so loud everybody could hear it. It pokes a hole in everything, okay? A piercing scream, and she fell to the floor in a dead faint. That means she just boom, fell. She fainted, all right? And on the screen it said, dearest wife, just checked in. Checked in. When you go to a hotel, you check in. They give you their key, okay? Everything prepared for your arrival tomorrow. For your arrival. That means you're coming here tomorrow. And also, it's really hot down here. So, of course, it sounds like the husband is in hell waiting for the wife to show up. Yee. Pretty scary. But anyway, that's our joke for today. All right. Well, we finished the hard part. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the different foods we eat in the West. Well, in America, the United States at least, we have all sorts of different kind of food. We have Chinese food in America. We have Western food, what you'd think of as Western food, like hamburger. This is probably a traditional American food, right? You'd think about a hamburger. We have fried chicken, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. But there's also places you can go to eat Chinese food. Now, Chinese food is really popular in the United States, but it's also really expensive. It's probably one of the more expensive things you can eat. Another thing, Kung Pao chicken. This is more of a from southern kind of cooking, right? Southern kind of spicy, right? With the peanuts. What is this in Chinese? Gong Bao Ji Ding, something like that. Okay, just pieces of chicken and peanuts and very spicy, but very popular in Western Chinese food too. But there's a difference between Western Chinese food or American Chinese food and real Chinese food. And you'll really see the difference if you travel back and forth and look at the different restaurants. One thing that made it into American Chinese food that doesn't very often make it into real Chinese food is cheese. There's a lot of cheese in American Chinese food. You can have something like a fried cheese wonton. Now, I don't think you'd ever see that in a Chinese restaurant around here. In fact, I don't think you'd want to see that in a Chinese restaurant around here. But it's just the influence of being in another culture. American people love to eat cheese, put cheese on everything. So it'll make it into that kind of cooking too. It'll make it into the Chinese food in America. But that's one thing I like about China, because of the fact that I can't eat cheese, I can't eat dairy products. I can come here and I never have to worry about there being cheese or milk or cream or any of that stuff in the food here. Now, let's see. Another difference is, well, there's a lot of restaurants in America, and they're famous. The Chinese restaurants are famous because a lot of them are a buffet restaurant. Now, a buffet restaurant is a restaurant where what you do essentially is you buy a plate. you're paying for the plate. Maybe you pay $10 for a plate. And then you can go around, and you go around like they have a big table with all the different kinds of food, and you can try some fried rice, some fried noodles, some kung pao chicken, some whatever they have out in this table, and you can fill up your plate, go sit down and eat your food, and then go fill up your plate again. That's what a buffet restaurant is. You can fill up your plate as many times as you want and keep eating until you explode if you want to, but just for the same price, okay? You pay the money, and then you can fill it up as much as you want, eat and drink as much as you want. That's a buffet restaurant. And that's what a lot of Chinese restaurants are famous for in America. They have a cheaper buffet where you can sample all different kinds of Chinese cooking for a little cheaper. But generally, I'd say I like Chinese food in China much better. If you want to eat good Chinese food, come to China. But, of course, we have other different kinds of food in America, too. Foods from Mexico, very popular, Mexican food. Now, this kind of food is very spicy, right? Very hot. Use a lot of chili pepper in the cooking. And we eat things like tacos, right? This is a hard piece of corn bread, and inside you put some ground hamburger with spices, some tomatoes, some lettuce, and then some spicy sauce, and eat it, very crunchy. We also have what are known as burritos. This is a corn tortilla, very thin piece of corn bread, and also it's very bendable. You can form it into like well, we call it a burrito. It's just like a case for all the food that goes inside. What goes inside there are some beans, some hamburger meat, some tomatoes, some lettuce, and you wrap that all up and eat it like that. That's a burrito. But that's Mexican food, also very popular in America. Now, we have some Thai food restaurants in America, more spicy. I mean, a lot spicier than like Chinese food. Very spicy, that kind of cooking. There's Thai food, but of course we also have Italian food, which you'd think of as more pasta, like noodles, spaghetti, something like that. We have basically any other kind of food you could think of, we can find in America. But like I say, with Chinese food, probably not as good as the real thing. So I think if you want to eat good Chinese food, you have to come to China. Anyway, different types of food, okay? Chinese food, Western food, Thai food, Mexican food, all different kinds of food. And you can find pretty much anything you want to eat in the United States. All right? Who? Me? Okay, one more time. Who? Me? All right, so you use this in a group situation. If I'm looking at the class and I say, you, get up and give a speech. If I'm pointing at you, but there's a lot of people around you, you could say, who? Me? Right, or you could just say, me? Like that, okay? And then I could say, yes, you, get up, give a speech. All right, so that's who? Me? All right, so if you point at someone and there's a lot of people around, you can say, who? Me? All right, for today's role play, I need you to get into groups of 2. And what you're going to do is ask each other about different types of Western food. That's right, just one question today. Ask each other about different kinds of Western food. Maybe you can make a list of the different kinds of Western food you know. All right, get into groups, go. All right, for this role play, I'd like you to get into groups of 4, okay? 4 people in the group. What I want you to do is pretend you're at a fast food restaurant. Pretend you're at McDonald's, maybe you're at KFC. Now, one of you is going to be the employee. One of you is going to be taking orders, like at the front desk at KFC or at McDonald's. The other people are going to order their meals. So just practice ordering your meal in English, okay? I want you to try and use English. So one of you is the employee. The other people in your group, one by one, wait in line and order your meal. And after you finish that, somebody else is going to be the employee. Switch roles. Somebody else will be the employee. Do this until everybody has tried it, until everybody's been an employee and everybody has ordered meals, okay? So, groups of 4, get together with your groups now, and go.